So what is it about changing the world that people seem so drawn to? As kids, we know that anything is possible, that the world revolves around us, and that we have the power to change it. And yet, somewhere along the way, we begin to doubt ourselves, to make up reasons why changing the world is impossible. We begin to accept that this world has 7 billion people, and that we are just particles on the planet because, hey, that's the way it is. I'd like to tell you a story. 3 years ago, my brother and I returned home from trick-or-treating with bags full of treasure. Gems of various colors. Bars of chocolate, peanut, caramel, and nougat. Cups made from chocolate and peanut butter. That night, before going to bed, we hid our well-earned treasure from our health nut parents, the junk food pirates who every year would take away most of our candy by the next morning. And that year was no exception. The next morning, we awoke to find most of our candy confiscated, and our parents explaining once again that candy wasn't good for us. My brother, fed up with the tradition, threw a temper tantrum and began to argue, well, how bad could chocolate and peanut butter be? Or chocolate in a thin candy-coated shell? Well, we were smart kids. We knew that candy wasn't necessarily good for you. But we set out to prove our parents wrong, that candy wasn't so bad. And yet, we did some research, and yet later that week, we had to tell them the one thing that no kid likes to tell their parents, that they were right. For once, that there were more than just chocolate, peanuts, and a little sugar in our favorite candies. That there were artificial colors, artificial flavors, hydrogenated fats, corn syrup, and chemical preservatives like tert-butyl hydroquinone, TBHQ, and loads of sugar. And even more shocking to us were the facts that we were bombarded with about diabetes. That by the time we were in our late 20s, 1 in 2 of our friends would be clinically obese and either diabetic or pre-diabetic. That our generation was the first generation that was not expected to live as long as its parents. And all of these problems were linked to the ingredients in the junk food we love the most. And so my then 12-year-old brother asked the simple questions. Why do the foods we love the most have to be so bad for us? Why can't it be different? We didn't just want these to be theoretical questions. We wanted to do something about the problem. We knew that if we wanted real change, we couldn't just wait for the government to intervene or expect the big companies just to change their ingredients. And so we became passionate, obsessed about proving that none of the junk in our junk food needed to be there to make it taste as good and be sold for the same price. We believed that if we could take the junk out of junk food, that people would start asking the same questions as my brother and demand a better choice. We believed that people would take a bite, stop and say, wait a minute, how could this food taste as good, be sold for the same price, and have none of the junk? What's going on with that other candy? We knew we'd need to ask for help. And so we cold called some of the best food scientists and chefs and told them that we wanted to change the world by reinventing America's favorite junk foods, starting with candy. Some of them tried. And while they were able to take out the junk from their recipes, they just weren't able to make the candies taste as good as the originals. We were disappointed, but we knew in our hearts that this was mission possible, and we weren't about to give up so easily. And finally, we picked up the phone and called the world-renowned food scientist Peter Barham in the United Kingdom. We told Peter about the problem, and we told him about our idea. And to our excitement, he said that he would help and made an introduction to the person he felt could help change the world. This was 28-year-old Master Chef Adam Malonis, winner of the ACT Young Culinarian Award, who was working at one of the best restaurants in the world. Adam was so inspired by our mission that 3 days later, he was on a plane from Spain to Boston. And after we met with him, he promised us with the 4 words we most wanted to hear: I can do it. He worked nonstop for over a year with passion and persistence. And after nearly 1,000 recipes of the first 5 candies, Adam nailed it on taste and on ingredients. And it was at that moment that we realized that candy could be unjunked. And so we started a company called Unreal, dedicated to unjunking the world by proving that none of the junk in our junk food need to be there. This past summer, we launched 5 reinvented versions of America's favorite candies, comparable to Snickers, Milky Way, Reese's, M&M's, and peanut M&M's, in 25,000 stores nationwide. The candies are sold side by side with the originals at the same price, and they're completely unjunked. We've taken out the artificial colors, the artificial flavors, the hydrogenated fats, the corn syrup, the chemical preservatives, and even the GMOs. And we've removed up to 40% of the sugar and increased the fiber and protein by up to 400% to offset the glycemic load. But most importantly, the candy tastes unreal. We've conducted thousands of taste tests with amazing results. Along the way, something magical has happened. People have become passionate about our mission. They want to help us and be a part of it. It turned out you needed money to start a company. And investors loved our mission and saw the potential to create change. That their shares were not just monetary, but that their money was going to change the world. And retailers, they too were inspired by our mission and believed that their customers should have a better choice. And they told us that we had done what they had been told by companies with huge R&D budgets couldn't be done. Same great taste, all real ingredients, same low price. And even celebrities wanted to help amplify our mission. They saw how their involvement could help create a movement that would revolutionize food forever, to the point where they are even willing to get arrested. Watch this.
High fructose corn syrup, preservatives, artificial colors, natural flavorings, all hijack our brain chemistry. We need to get these things out of our food.
21st century company views public health as part of their profit, and that's what's so cool.
From this to the shelves in CVS or 7-Eleven.
We're going to put it in every store at the same price. We're going to make it without artificial sweeteners and preservatives. How is this possible?
Completely rethinking something that we take for granted. Those are the innovations I love seeing.
The taste is fantastic.
This is so good.
It's amazing. I mean, it tastes just like you're 4 years old.
What this company has a chance of doing is creating a movement.
Unreal has done it with candy, and if they can do it with candy, we can do it with everything.
I love it.
Hey kid. Yeah. You want some candy? Did I do anything wrong?
You giving out candy to kids?
I didn't know giving out candy to kids was illegal.
Get out of the car.
Suspect in custody, copy. Not gonna believe this one.
I mean, that's gotta be the first time that Bill Gates has been in a video with Iconopop music. But seriously, how can you get people so excited about a candy bar? Tom Brady got arrested, for goodness sakes. I'm here today not to sell candy, but to sell you on an idea. the most important idea worth spreading, which is that you can change the world, because the world needs change. At Unreal, we've made a lot of mistakes, and we haven't been around for too long, but I want to share with you the lessons that I've learned so far. I start with the importance of one single powerful word: why. Everyone who creates change starts with this simple question: why does it have to be this way? Why can't it be different? Unreal was founded on the simple questions asked by a 12-year-old. Why do the foods we love the most have to be so bad for us? Why can't it be different? And second, you have to think big and be naive. It's the big thinking where true innovation happens. The big thinking is where you go from being just another candy bar to changing the world. And when you ask these big why questions, it's natural to think of all the reasons why not. Like, people have tried and not succeeded. It's not a good idea. If I fail, no one will love me. But you have to stay naive. You have to believe that anything is possible. You have to be willing to just pick up the phone and call anyone who you think can help you. You have to stay positive. Yes, we candy. And third, you have to sweat the details. In the real world, the truth is that you can get away with taking shortcuts. But if you want to change the world, you have to realize that it's not enough just to do the right thing. It's not enough just to do things right. You have to do the right thing. When we needed to use palm oil at Unreal to make the candies, we did research and were assailed by information about palm oil being a major cause of rainforest and natural habitat destruction. And so we found an organic farm which used only second and third generation growth. And for every hectare harvested, they replanted 3. And we sourced the cacao from traceable beans so that no childhood slavery is involved. And the milk, it's from New Zealand, so that no added hormones or antibiotics are used. You won't find this on our website. It's not marketed. But we do it because it's the right thing to do. I'm almost at the end of the talk, and I tried really, really hard not to put a quote in. But this one really struck a chord with me. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. And trust me, a lot of business people forget that. To finish, I'd like to reach out to everyone. Adults, please, please, please support your children and help them to accomplish their dreams. Let them learn, explore, and even fail. Let them not accept everything. Let them challenge and try to change what they do not like. This is how you change the world. And grandparents, I know my grandmother's here in the audience today. If you want to be the cool grandparents on Halloween, you can give out Unreal candy. And finally, teens. Of everyone in the world, you have the biggest power to change it. Everybody wants to help a person realize a dream, especially if that dream will help change the world for the better. But you have a big step up if you're a kid. You will not believe how receptive people are to youth that are starting with why, thinking big, and sweating the details. So keep asking those why questions, because it's my bet that there are things in this world that you don't agree with. And you have the power to change them. You can do the impossible. Just go for it. Thank you.